Breeze Nation, what is going on? We are back. It's your boy Jordan JC for another NFL draft player breakdown. Today we got a good one because I'm going to be talking about a potential fit for the Bears that we might be overlooking. Obviously, it's going to be at a position that has already technically been addressed. We got DeAndre Swift, we got Cal Monungai that we found as a gem in the seventh round last year. But I want to talk about a prospect who I think, if the Bears go a certain route in a potential trade or conversations where DeAndre Swift is no longer part of this team, possibly, right? Or even moving forward, maybe they just want to make sure that they have a potential replacement for him down the line. There's a player who I think has some extremely special traits in him, but he hasn't put it all together, and that is none other than Arkansas running back Mike Washington Jr. The question today is, should the Bears consider him in the draft? Well, let's talk about it. We're going to be breaking down this running back. Like I said, Mike Washington Jr. is from Arkansas. He is 6'1", 223 pounds. He ran a 4.33 40-yard dash. That is insane for a guy his size. 4.33. Blew my mind away when I saw that. Here's some of his stats for 2025. He ran for 1,070 yards for a 6.4 average, 8 touchdowns, and in the past game, he had 28 receptions for 226 receiving yards. And so a pretty good do-it-all running back, possible three-down workhorse running back. He is a senior, and so he's a little bit up in age as far as a prospect coming out of college. And so that, again, is why I think his stock isn't necessarily the highest. He's projected to go around the fourth round, possibly fifth. And so there's a chance that the Bears can actually get this special type of player. In my opinion, I'm going to say special gifts, special traits type of player in the later rounds. You don't have to address running back, obviously. That's not necessarily a need in the first couple of rounds, maybe in the first 3 rounds where you need to address the safety position, defensive end, defensive tackle, possibly a DB, offensive line. Like, those are the positions that we know that we need to really hone in on, right? But I feel like Ben Johnson, you know what he is, you know how he's going to play it. He's probably going to go best player available at some point, especially in the later rounds as they continue to draft for need. I think that if Mike Washington is there in the fourth round, you got to grab him. Here's some of his athletic scores. Again, off the charts: 39-inch vertical, a 128 broad jump, that is elite, a 33 5/8 arm length. And so this dude has a lot of really good relative athletic scores, very good height, very good size, extreme speed. And so you would think, like, my goodness, well, why isn't he one of the top running backs or one of the first running backs to go in the first round? Well, we'll break it down now. Obviously, as always, we're going to go into the strengths first. And so here we go. First strength: size speed combo is salivating. As I mentioned, he's a guy who weighs 223 pounds, but he should not move the way that he does at 4.33 speed. His straight line ability translates to consistency in picking up those chunk yardages that you like and getting to that second level past the defense and being able to go the distance, hitting those home runs. He has that type of speed where he can continue to just break away. At his size, you get him up to speed. I'm not saying he is Adrian Peterson, but you know, some of those running backs, once they get up to their top speed, the size strength combo is just hard to one, slow down and to tackle. And so he has that ability in him. Runs with conviction and forward lean. He is a yak beast who puts a hurting on the DBs that try to fill a hole or their gap assignment. And so, again, this is someone who is very convicted. And once he sees the hole, he's there. And obviously the forward lean is important because sometimes you have running backs who get knocked back very easily. He's a running back who, no matter what, if he gets yards after contact, it's going to be going forward. It's going to be positive gains. And so that first line of defense, whether it's a linebacker, a DB, or a defensive end, he's pushing the power forward more times than not. That's what you'll see on tape consistently. Doesn't play games in the backfield. He is a one-cut runner who trusts his reads and he plants his feet and goes. That's what you also want. That's kind of the same kind of in the ballpark of being convicted, right? Having conviction with his running style. You don't play games. You see a lot of running backs. And, of course, even DeAndre Swift kind of had that in his game. And, of course, you know, when he got with Eric Bieniemy, this past couple of years, he's had done a better job of just hitting the hole, right? Not wasting any time in the backfield, allowing the defense to kind of get back there and clog up the gaps, clog up the lanes in order for him not to gain any yardage, but just hitting that hole, being decisive in his runs so that you can get some sort of positive yardage. That is exactly what Mike Washington Jr. is. He is someone who is very, very just cerebral when it comes to making sure he gets those gains. He is laser focused on just hitting the hole. He trusts his reads and he goes. He doesn't do any wiggling. He doesn't do any juke moves. He goes straight down into the hole. And so that's what you love about a prospect like this. He has reliable hands on check down and swing passes. He's a useful weapon in the edge and underneath defensive coverage on pass plays. And so, as I mentioned to you, he had 28 receptions over the past year for over 200 yards receiving. And so he is someone who you can trust in the run game. Those short passes more than likely are going to work. And of course, you know, Caleb is very good at those screen passes, the short passes to the running back, the dump off plays, the sweep plays to the running back. Those are things that are going to be implemented in a Ben Johnson offense when he utilizes his running backs. And so that's something that Mike Washington Jr. has in his bag. Plays like he has a chip on his shoulder and loves the moment when the lights are the brightest. Now, that's something that you can't teach. We know with Caleb, you call him Iceman because in the moment when the lights are the brightest, he just comes up clutch. There's just this it factor that certain players have in football and in sports in general where you can't teach it. You either have it or you don't. And it seems as if Mike Washington has it. He plays with that chip on his shoulder as if he has something to prove every single down, every single game. And that's what you love, that competitiveness, that nature to just want to be better than your peers. That you can't teach. That sometimes doesn't come even in the players that are extremely talented that you might hear go before him. You want a player who has a chip on his shoulder. You want a player who's saying, oh, you're going to get me in the fourth round? I'm a first-round talent. I should be going first. I should be in the conversation with Jeremiah Love. That's the type of player you're getting in Mike Washington Jr. to pair up with a possible Kyle Manung guy and DeAndre Swift. And so you love to see it. Now, some of the weaknesses. Got to talk about some of the things that actually drop him off the spotlight in a sense, and why he's projected to go a little bit later in the draft. Ball security has to improve right away. It is a problem. It's a red flag, actually. Needs to improve dramatically. He has had 10 career fumbles over his career in college, and so that is not very good. That's something clearly as a running back that you would want to try and clean up. And so whether it's the ball placement, the way he's holding the ball, he clearly has a good size strength combo. And so there has to be some sort of development or training, you know, if he were to come to the Bears where he has to get that under wraps. We can't have a running back who's going to constantly have the ball fumbled. And obviously defenses are going to key in on that. When you do your homework on a player, you're going to know, oh, this is his weakness. Oh, we're going to send waves of defenders towards him whenever he gets the ball and try and knock him out. We won't even try to tackle him. We're just going to try and punch away at the ball. And so this is something that he has to clean up right away. And when you get with a running backs coach, of course, Eric Bieniemy is gone now, but I love the replacement in Eric Studesville or Studeville, however you say his name. I hope I'm saying it correctly. But that type of coach, he should be able to develop that and train that into you. He should be a very, very good mentor for a Mike Washington Jr. when he comes to the Bears, if he is drafted by the Bears. His pass protection is below average for a 3-down role. He doesn't sit down and strike with leverage when trying to block, which usually puts him off balance with defenders. And so again, no block, no rock. That's the conversation with Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson wants his players, when they're not involved primarily in the play, when they're not the one getting the rock, you have to try and block. You have to make sure that you are taking care of your assignment. And as a running back, it's no different from the wide receivers or the tight ends. You gotta block when you need time for Caleb to do what he does in the pocket. Otherwise, you'll be seeing Caleb scramble all over the place. We know he's magical when it comes to getting away from defenders, but you want Caleb to be comfortable in that pocket, and Mike Washington Jr. has to improve in that aspect. Again, it's kind of weird because you look at, again, his size, 6'1", 223 pounds, and the frame, you would think that he would have the ability to block better than some other maybe comparable size running backs or his peers, but it's just his technique is not there. It's the way he blocks. It's not that he can't do it, but obviously that's something that's going to have to be coached into him, is making sure that he stands down and he can kind of gets his foot in the ground and has that anchor in a sense, like an offensive lineman, to strike the right way at any defenders trying to come through the hole in the middle, whether it's the defensive tackles or he's helping out with the edge defender coming, or a linebacker on a blitz or a DB on a blitz, whatever the case may be. He has to improve on his blocking ability. That is going to be very important in a Ben Johnson offense, and whether or not he actually is enticing enough for Ben Johnson to want him on this team. Lastly, his weakness, not a great route runner in the pass game. Now, of course, we just talked about how he is reliable in the pass game when it comes to the simple passes, the checkdowns, and the screen plays. But his route tree overall, there's a lot left to be desired. His route concepts are very poor, and he needs development in that. And again, like I said, that's the importance of having a very good coaching staff. When you pair him up with the Eric Studsville, that could do wonders. We've seen the resume on the Eric Studsville. It is immaculate. When you talk about some of the running backs in different eras of football, rather, also, you talk about Marshawn Lynch, Fred Jackson. Lastly, recently you've had Devon A-Chain. Like, those are some very, very successful names. Some possibly Hall of Famers that has worked under the tutelage of Eric Studsville to be even better running backs. And so that's why I trust. You look at some of these weaknesses, they are concerning. That's why I think that he has dropped off as far as his value as a running back. But if you get those cleaned up, the sky is the limit for Mike Washington Jr. The evaluation is crazy because he has all of the physical tools and the speed is off the charts to be a 3-down workhorse running back in this league. He can be special, but he's got to clean up one of the obvious. Is for a running back, you got to make sure you hold on to the ball. That's numero uno. You got to make sure that you can block in this specific offense. You are required to block when it's not your turn to get the spotlight or the ball. And also, you got to make sure that you maybe improve your route running when it comes to being reliable in the pass game so that you can be on the field in those moments where the lights are the brightest and you know that you want the ball. And so I think those are things that can get cleaned up. As I've always mentioned, weaknesses can be turned into strengths. I'll say that to the cows come home. I say that every time with these prospects. These are things that if you continue to work hard at your craft in the offseason and you get with some of the best to do it when it comes to the coaching and the development under Eric Studsville, who has a great track record with running backs, then I think Mike Washington Jr., if he's there in the 4th round, maybe even the 5th round, you take him and you don't look back. He could be a very, very good running back. Heck, in my opinion, I love Cal Monangai, but he could be even better than what Cal Monangai could be because of just the numbers, the physical statistics on this guy just scream potential, special potential. And so let me see what you all think about Mike Washington Jr. Have you all done your homework on him? I would love for you all to see the tape. I mean, it is amazing the way he runs. His size speed combo really is the biggest thing that stands out to me because you just don't see a guy that big moving that fast. And it's just enticing to see the potential. That's why we love these draft prospects, because the potential, it's salivating for some of these guys, and he's right there with some of the best of them. And so want to get you guys' thoughts on the Mike Washington Jr. Do you think we go running back in this draft? I know it's not a need per se because we have Swift, because we have Cal Monangai as that dual threat, but we never know what the Bears will do to maybe shore up some more draft capital or some more money to address other areas of more important need than running back. And so could DeAndre Swift still be on this team by the beginning of the season or the midseason, whatever the case may be? But I think that this would be a good fallback plan, that you want to get a running back at some point in the later part of this draft, and Mike Washington Jr. might be that perfect fit. So I'll be down with you all in the comment section as always. And until the next NFL Draft Player Breakdown, I'm your boy Jordan JC. Peace out, Chicago.